Hi everyone, in today's video I want to show you how you can use DAX in Power BI. So what is DAX and what does it even stand for? DAX stands for Data Analysis Expression. It's basically a formula language with functions. If you have ever used Microsoft Excel before and you have written formulas and functions, it's very similar to that. So let's get on the PC and let's start learning. To kick things off, let's open Power BI and on the canvas, click on Import Data from Excel. So here I'm going to go ahead and select Import Data from Excel. So I'm going to click on the sample, financial sample here. So connecting and the data is loading. Let's wait for the data to load. So I'm going to click on the financials and preview. Then I'm going to click on load. So let's wait a few seconds while the data loads. Okay, so the data is done loading, and so on the reports on the data view here, I'm gonna show you the data view to orientate you on what my report holds. So here I have the segment, I have the country, which is the marketplace for our product. And I also have the product, the units sold, the sales price, the production date, and the expiry date. And also the sales, the revenue. So we're gonna go ahead and start creating some DAX expression to check some of the sum average of some of the product that we have here. So the first thing we're not gonna do is on the financial template, we want to check the total sum of the units sold with DAX. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on the financial table, right click on it and click on new measure. And the measure here is gonna be the total units sold, and that's gonna be equal sum, just like we use in Excel. The sum function, we call the sum function and then the argument. So here I want the total units sold for the financial product, and then I'm gonna close parentheses. So you notice when I call the sum function, I have, instead of having, just like in Excel, instead of having the sum and then the argument we want to sum up. Yeah, you see, I have the financials. The financial represent the table and the units sold. Now, on this list, you will see the financial is a drop down, which means that on the financial table, we have all those fields under the financial table. So the DAX function takes the financial table as the expression, and it refers to the column or the field you want to sum up in Power BI. So that is why we have the table and then the field or the column name. So when I close the parentheses, I can either hit my enter key on my keyboard or go ahead and select the commit sign here. But first, let's use the commit sign, and subsequently, we're going to be using the enter key. So you see, it automatically adds up the total units sold, and it is represented by an icon, which means calculated field. So on this list, you see other lists as the revenue, which has the summation icon, but you see this as the the calculator, which means the calculated field. So let's go ahead and check the total units sold. Okay, so we have our total units sold up to 1 million naira. So let's go ahead and check them and use the matrix to know the number of. Okay, so we have it over 1 million dollars with $1,258.06. So that's one way to use DAX to check the function. And also let me use DAX to check the average of the units sold. So I'm gonna go ahead again, click on new measure. So this is gonna be the average sold. average sold, and then in front of the equal sign I'm going to type in the function, which is the average, and that's going to be the average of the units sold, and close parenthesis. Then I'm going to hit enter. So here I have the average sold of the unit product, which is 1608 of the unit product with tax. And you notice that I have the average sold here. This is not just a cast on the stone. I can also make um changes to this. So average sold, this is going to be the average units sold, and click on the commit icon. So you see it automatically updates, and I can also change the formula to check the average of other product, or change the function that defines the expression. But we're gonna go ahead and leave that as it is. So the next thing we want to do on the pro on our data view here, so we have the units sold and the sales price. The next thing is we want to do is check the gross sales of our product. So the next thing is go to data tools, click on new column. So the name of the column is going to be the gross sales. Gross sales, and then in front of it I want sum the sum of the financial the product, sum. Okay, come in. Okay, so the sum of the units sold multiplied by the sales price. Sum of units sold multiply by the sum of the sales price. So I'm gonna select that. So just like I explained earlier, we have the financials, which is the table, and then the field in it, or the column, and then the multiplication sign, and the table again, and then the sum in it. Then I'm gonna go ahead and close parentheses and hit enter. Okay, so the sum function will accept a column reference as an argument. Okay, so I'm gonna delete this and hit enter again to correct the error. Okay, so here we're not gonna call the sum function, we're just gonna call the table, and then we have it as it is. Okay, so it's just that easy to make error, then we can make amend when we study it well. Okay, so on to the next one. We have the gross sales, which is the units sold and the sales multiplied by the sales price gives us the gross sales. So let's go ahead to our report view to check our gross sales. So here with the use of the matrix, we want to check our total gross sales, which is going to be gross sales. So you see on this list, we have our total gross sales. So the next one, I want to know the products, our total gross sales on each product. So I'm gonna, from the field here, I'm gonna drag the product into the matrix here. So you see from the list here, we have the product, the criteria, and the sum of the gross sales here. We have, just like you can see here, we have the Amarilla, which makes up $19 million from the list here, and the Pasio, the Velo, which makes up the $16.5 million, and the Velo, which is $19.8 million. So that's one way to create a column in with the DAX expression in Power BI. So let's go to our data view again and check what we can do. Okay, so the sales and the revenue, we want to check the profit here. You want to check the profit of the sales and the revenue, and so that's going to be the sales minus the revenue. So we're gonna go ahead and create a column again under the data view tab here. I'm gonna click new column. So here, clicking new column, the column name is gonna be the profit, and then the expression here is gonna be the sales, which is sales minus the revenue. Notice I only type the revenue, but Power BI notes also takes the financials, which is the name of the table, into the argument before taking the field name. So I'm gonna double click this and click on the commit sign. So you see, I have my total profit here. So let me go back to my report view to check the total sum of my profit here. So I'm gonna click on the report view, and here you see I have the profit here. I have the profit here. So I'm gonna click on the matrix and select profit. So I have my profit to be 16,893,702 million. So here I want to check the product that make up this sum of profit here. So I have this and this, and I can also check the the profit they brought. So I think Passio had the highest profit on this list here. So that's one way you can use to check out. That's one way you can use the DAX expression in Power BI. And if you like this video, I want you to give it a thumbs up. And if this is the first time checking up our channel, don't forget to give us a subscribe and hit on the notification bell to get future videos when we drop a future video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.